morning again. This is Suraj Singh, professional engineer. I was talking about the site agents and resident engineers on projects of buildings or other projects. You may get confused about the government positions. In the government, I have just said chief engineer is the engineer in contracts. In the government, because works are given or awarded on contracts, here, chief engineer is engineer and he has to appoint many resident engineers with him. And the positions actually in the government are chief engineer, superintendent engineer, executive engineer, assistant engineer, junior engineer, etc. There are 5 or 6 positions. Let's say 5 positions. The chief engineer is the engineer in contract. Maybe they don't agree, but it doesn't matter. Contract is contract. Under the Union Contract Act, and everybody has to abide by that. So chief engineer here can be considered as the contractual engineer, while superintendent engineer who is supervising the job, his job is supervision, and he can be considered as a resident engineer, or he may be having 10 or 15 projects as resident. It doesn't make a difference. He works as resident engineer and he transfers, he delegates further responsibilities to executive engineer because he already has got the delegated responsibilities from the chief engineer in contract. So delegation 1 is given to superintendent engineer, delegation 2 is given to executive engineer, and delegation 3 is given to assistant engineer, and then to junior engineer on site, who is the last one. These are real, one by one goes to another and goes third one like this. It takes a main number of engineers as resident. Everybody has got different responsibility, varying responsibilities, and that's how the system is working. It may factually should be agreed. It may be agreed. There's nothing to say that you are asking me. Resident is a big term. It's a representative. You are representing the government. You are representing the engineer. You are representing the client. It's a big term. It's not a small term. This term is actually superintendent engineer is a small term according to me. Similarly, executive engineer, you are executing what? What are executing? These are the terms created by the previous independence position by the British government. These are not actually. Now they are irrelevant. In present circumstances, we should give them technical terms which are more important. Administrative terms won't work here everywhere in the place while it is falling because of this term. And now they should supervise the work of the contractor. That's the most important here, contractors. We are not giving the terms to contractors. Contractors are using their own terms. Every project should have an engineer who will work as site agent, site engineer in charge of project engineer. He would have the same responsibilities as I said. He has to do the job on site. He has to report to the resident engineer. He has to take care of the site. Site agent has got every responsibility delegated to other people, to junior people, to subordinates. Same way the chief has got his responsibilities and he delegates the responsibilities to junior people like superintendent engineer, executive engineer, or you can subordinate other subordinates. That's what should happen. The role of site engineer or site agent is very vast. He works for the project, he carries out the project, he executes the job, he carries out the job, he does preparatory works. According to drawings, he studies the drawings, he finds out the variations in the drawing, he finds out complexities in the drawing, he finds out the clashes in the drawing, he coordinates all the drawings, he coordinates structural engineer drawing to architectural engineer drawings, he coordinates details to each other, he coordinates with services drawings, he coordinates with specification, he checks the specifications, he can see the feasibility of specifications, he can find out the mistakes in the specifications, he has to check the constructability issues of these. It's a big job. He has to dedicate, he has to concentrate, only then he can find out the complexity. During design stage, everything cannot be coordinated. Major coordinations are done, but minor coordinations are done only on site because there can be variations on site. There can change in dimensions, change in levels, change in so many things, change in design, change in instruction, change in requirements of specifications. All this have to be coordinated. And that coordination is the job of the site engineer, site agent. He has to use some design engineer within the called office engineer who can help him to understand all this because site engineer will be on site all the time. Starting the site is very big size, taking over the plot and doing the job, he will be busy for 2 or 3 months on the site very much, and that is the most important period where all coordinations will be done. So if coordination is delayed, queries will be delayed, queries are delayed, site technical queries will not be resolved, and it will take much more time for revision of the drawings, and revision will come late and work would suffer. Further materials cannot be purchased, further subcontractors cannot be finalized. Because site agent has to appoint contractors to the company, and these contractors are to be approved by the resident engineer, by the engineer. Metals will be made from all the disciplines, drawings will be made from all the disciplines. shop drawings or working, that's what call it. It's not a thing, it's a very big job, and site agent will be busy for all this. So if he spends his time or 12 hours every day on drawings, who will look after site? Office engineer would help him. So site is the responsibility is too much because he has to first understand the drawing, understand the specification will be there 4 or 5 volumes or 400 pages. Similarly, there will be 500 drawings on site. He has to go through all this. This is a big exercise. He should be supported well, he has to be cooperated well, he has to prepare these queries, go to the resident engineer, send to the resident engineer who would respond to this through his specialist. In case there's a problem and it's the principal matter, it's the engineering matter, maybe he has to send this query to any other country from where the designers come, or any other city from where the designers come. I used to send the queries to London, from where I used to get this, from Bechtel, Alliance Bechtel. It takes time. The designer has to go back to the documents and see what he had done. And there will be 500 files in the designs, and designer might have changed. This is very important. Everything can change, everything goes off. So major responsibility of a site engineer is, site agent is, that he has to explore the designs. He has to explore the contract documents. He has to go through all of them. He has to understand what is missing or what is surplus. He has to understand whatever contract they have signed, are these designs in line with that? Maybe it is a lump sum contract, or maybe it's item contract. If it's a lump sum contract, it's a big question mark. Those contract accommodations. If something which is given in the drawings and not given in the specification, or something which is given in the BOP or which is missing from the BOP, there's a complexity. He has to involve the contractor for all this. He cannot lose the money. The contractor has to give back only whatever is paid. Site engineer has to resolve everything. It's not simply execution of site, it's execution of the contract. Contract cannot be executed blindly. Contract cannot be executed blindly without keeping in view all these issues, and this is a part of quantity surveying, which I didn't tell you before. Quantity surveying is a part of civil engineering as well. Quantity survey would help him. Site manager will be helped by everybody. Resident engineer actually has to help him rather than commanding on him. Because if site engineer is unable to work, resident engineer will failure. Site agent, plus resident engineer, resident agent have to operate otherwise. Similarly, resident engineer has to do the hospital also by reviewing the drawings, by checking the drawings, the ordinance. They should also ask the engineer to issue the revision. And you can see on any project, after coming the first drawing, they will further revision 4 or 5 times, particularly on drawings. This revision may not impact the cost of the contract, but the value of time on new items, or you can say revised items. Something happens that the slab is ready for pouring, but something else comes in the next hour, that you have to place some more cast, and that hour you have to change some dimension. It happens in general. It should be avoided. Site engineer is the part of the coordination, then comes the quality, and then comes many other things. If you expect the site engineer to go to read the codes, etc. on site, I think it doesn't work. It won't work. It won't be successful. It's bad habit actually. Site engineer has to take care of the site based on the design supports, based on the execution support, based on the planning support, based on the quantity support, based on all the support, safety support, etc. You cannot just catch hold of his shoulders and say, no, catch up his throat and say, no, you do this. No, it's not like that. The practice is a practice done that way. So we should realize site engineers' responsibilities are immense. Similarly, resident engineers are supporting responsibilities are immense, and engineer has to take care of both, while contractor should not suppress the site engineer, because they tell him he can be suppressed, he can save the cost, he can do this, he can do that. That's not acceptable. Well, thank you very much, guys. This is Suraj Singh. I'm just closing it because of the time problem. Thank you. Bye. Thank you very much.